you kidding me right now? WWE just pulled the most disrespectful, most insulting move they could possibly make heading into Survivor Series WarGames, and I'm about to lose my mind. They had one job tonight on Raw, one simple task. Give us a clean, professional final confrontation between these two teams before they step into the most demonic structure in professional wrestling. But instead, what did we get? Chaos. Absolute, unfiltered chaos that made a mockery of everything WarGames is supposed to represent. And you know what the worst part is? Triple H and the entire creative team are sitting backstage right now thinking they did something brilliant. Well, I'm here to tell you they didn't. They fumbled. Hard. Let me set the scene for those who missed this train wreck of a final face-off. We've got two teams preparing to enter WarGames. Two cages, weapons everywhere, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. This is supposed to be the ultimate test of teamwork, survival, and dominance. The stakes couldn't be higher. These superstars are about to put their bodies through absolute hell. And what does WWE give us as the final build? A face-off that turned into a brawl so messy, so poorly structured, that I couldn't even tell who was supposed to be the babyface anymore. Right from the opening segment, you could feel something was off. Adam Pearce comes out trying to maintain order, acting like he has any authority whatsoever, which is hilarious because when has Adam Pearce ever successfully controlled anything in WWE? The man's track record for maintaining order is worse than a substitute teacher in a classroom full of troublemakers. He's out there with his clipboard and his concerned expression, and I'm sitting here thinking, buddy, you're about to get steamrolled, and we all know it. Then the first team makes their entrance, and I've got to say, the presentation was actually solid. The music hits, the crowd's going crazy, and you can see in their eyes that they mean business. Each member walks out with that intensity, that focus that tells you they understand what they're walking into at Survivor Series. This is the team that's been talking about legacy, about proving they're the most dominant faction in WWE history. And for a moment, just a brief moment, I thought maybe WWE would actually deliver something special tonight. But then the second team comes out, and this is where things start going sideways. Instead of a methodical, tension-filled entrance, we get members rushing to the ring like it's a Black Friday sale at Walmart. Where's the psychology? Where's the slow burn? WarGames is supposed to be about calculated aggression, about teams who are willing to destroy each other but smart enough to pick their moments. Instead, we got people sprinting down the ramp like their rental car was about to get towed. Now, here's where I need you guys to sound off in the comments because I genuinely want to know your opinion on this. Do you think WWE has completely forgotten how to build suspense? Or are they intentionally rushing these moments because they don't trust the audience's attention span anymore? Seriously, drop your thoughts below because this has been bothering me for months now. The brawl that ensued was, and I'm trying to be fair here, simultaneously exciting and completely nonsensical. Fists are flying, bodies are crashing into barricades, and the crowd is eating it up. I get it, I understand the appeal of a good Pier 6 brawl. But here's my issue. We're supposed to be saving this energy for WarGames. Why are you giving away the violence for free on Raw when people are supposed to pay to see it at Survivor Series? It's like watching a movie trailer that shows every good scene, and then you get to the theater and realize. And can we talk about the booking decisions here? One team member gets thrown through a table on the outside, which should be a massive moment, right? Wrong. The cameras barely caught it, the commentators were too busy screaming over each other to properly sell it, and within 30 seconds, everyone had moved on to the next spot. That superstar just went through a table, and it got the same reaction as someone getting hit with a basic clothesline. This is the problem with modern WWE sometimes. Everything is turned up to 11 all the time, so nothing feels special anymore. Michael Cole is on commentary losing his mind, which is fine because that's his job, but even he seemed confused about what story they were trying to tell. He's yelling about the team captain showing leadership, but that same captain is on the outside of the ring arguing with a referee instead of actually leading his team. Meanwhile, Corey Graves is trying to put over how dangerous WarGames will be, but his words ring hollow when we're literally watching a WarGames preview match happening right now with zero consequences. The thing that really got under my skin, and this is what pushed me over the edge, was when they brought out the WarGames cage itself for the intimidation factor. Are you serious right now? You're going to wheel out the actual structure and have these competitors stand around looking at it like tourists at a museum? Where's the mystique? Where's the fear? WarGames is supposed to be this looming, terrifying presence that haunts these wrestlers in their nightmares. Instead, they're posing in front of it like it's a photo opportunity at Comic-Con. But wait, it gets worse. Because WWE couldn't help themselves, they had to add another layer of stupidity to this whole thing. One team starts climbing the cage during the face-off. Climbing the cage. Before the match even happens. Why would you do this? What purpose does this serve except to make WarGames feel less special? It's like if a football team practiced their touchdown celebrations before the Super Bowl. Nobody does that because it cheapens the actual moment. Here's another question for you folks in the comments, and I really want to hear from you on this one. When did WWE stop understanding the concept of less is more? When did they decide that every single confrontation needed to be an explosion instead of a slow-burning fuse? Let me know what you think, because from where I'm sitting, this company has completely lost the plot on how to build anticipation. Now, let's talk about the individual performances because, credit where credit is due, some of these superstars were trying their absolute best to make this work despite the terrible structure they were given. You could see certain team members really leaning into their roles, delivering promos with genuine intensity, talking about what WarGames means to them, what they're willing to sacrifice. Those moments were gold. Those moments reminded me why I fell in love with professional wrestling in the first place. But then those moments would get immediately undercut by something ridiculous happening in the background. A heartfelt promo about family and legacy gets interrupted by someone hitting someone else with a chair for absolutely no reason. The crowd doesn't know whether to be emotional or excited, and neither do I, because WWE keeps jerking us around between tones like we're on the world's worst emotional roller coaster. The worst part, and this is what really makes my blood boil, is that you can see the potential. You can see glimpses of what this could have been if someone with an ounce of restraint had been in charge of booking this segment. There were moments where the two team captains locked eyes across the ring, and you could feel the hatred, the competition, the desire to prove superiority. Those stare-downs had more intensity than all the brawling combined, but WWE doesn't trust those moments anymore. They think we need constant action, constant noise, constant chaos, or we'll change the channel. And speaking of the team captains, can we address the absolute disrespect shown to one of them tonight? I'm not going to name names because I want you guys to tell me in the comments who you think got the short end of the stick in this booking. But one captain was made to look like a complete fool. They got blindsided, outnumbered, and humiliated, and not in a way that builds sympathy or makes you want to see them overcome the odds. No, they just looked weak and unprepared, which makes zero sense for someone who's supposed to be leading their team into the most dangerous match in WWE. The commentators tried to spin it as a psychological advantage for the opposing team, but that's just corporate damage control. What we witnessed was poor booking that made one side look dominant and the other look incompetent, which completely kills the drama of WarGames. The whole point is that both teams should feel evenly matched, both should feel dangerous, both should make you question who's going to walk out victorious. Instead, after tonight, I already know who's winning, and that's a massive problem. Here's what really frustrates me about modern WWE. They have all the talent in the world. The roster is stacked with incredible athletes, compelling characters, and people who genuinely care about this business. The problem isn't the wrestlers. It's the people making the decisions behind the curtain. It's the producers who think more is always better. It's the writers who don't understand the difference between excitement and exhaustion. It's the executives who are so desperate for viral moments that they sacrifice long-term storytelling for short-term social media engagement. You want to know what a proper WarGames build should look like? Let me tell you. You have your teams established weeks in advance. Each week, you showcase why these specific 5 people need to be together, what bonds them, what they're fighting for. You build individual rivalries within the larger team conflict. You make the audience care about each participant so that when they step into that cage, every elimination, every near fall, every weapon shot means something. Then, for your final face-off, you bring both teams to the ring and you let them talk. You let them cut promos on each other. You let the captains lay out their strategies, their motivations, their guarantees of victory. You let the tension build naturally through words and stare-downs and the occasional shove or heated exchange. And then, right when the tension is at its absolute peak, Right when the audience can't take it anymore, you have someone throw the first punch and all hell breaks loose for exactly 90 seconds before security breaks it up. That's how you build anticipation. That's how you make people desperate to see the actual match. But that's not what we got tonight. What we got was the wrestling equivalent of a sugar rush, all energy and no substance, and just like a sugar rush, the crash is going to be brutal. Because now, when we get to Survivor Series and WarGames actually happens, what more can they possibly do? They've already given away the violence, the cage spots, the team warfare. The only thing left is the actual match itself, and it better be absolutely perfect because if it's anything less, this whole build will have been for nothing. Let me ask you guys another question, and this one's important. Do you think this final Raw before Survivor Series made you more excited for WarGames or less excited? Be honest in the comments because I'm genuinely curious if I'm alone in my frustration here, or if other people are feeling the same way I am about this entire build. Look, I want to be clear about something. I'm not hating on WWE just to hate. I'm not one of those people who complains about everything the company does regardless of quality. I criticize because I care. I criticize because I know this company is capable of so much better. I've seen them deliver incredible WarGames matches before. I've seen them build to big events in ways that made my heart race and my palms sweat with anticipation. I know they can do this right, which makes it even more infuriating when they get it so wrong. The talent deserves better. The audience deserves better. WarGames as a concept deserves better. This match has a legacy, it has history, it means something to old-school wrestling fans, and it should mean something to new fans too. But when you book it like this, when you treat the build like it's just another episode of Raw with slightly higher stakes, you diminish everything that makes WarGames special. So here's my final question for all of you watching, and I really want to see your answers flood the comments section. What would you have done differently for this final face-off before Survive? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Am I overreacting? Am I being too harsh? Or am I speaking the truth that some people don't want to hear? Either way, I want to hear from you. Like this video if you agree, dislike it if you think I'm completely wrong, but most importantly, subscribe to SUPLEX Ring Saga because we're going to be breaking down every moment of Survivor Series WarGames, and you know I'm going to keep it real regardless of what happens. This has been your reality check. WWE dropped the ball tonight, but maybe, just maybe, they'll pick it back up at Survivor Series. We'll find out together.